9 fast ways you can boost happiness. Let's go. First of all, respect to you for choosing this video instead of all the short clickbait ones out there, because most of the YouTube videos, even on the topics of fitness, health, and self-improvement, most of them are just whack, and most of them are just made for the creator to get views rather than to actually give you real education. So respect for clicking on this kind of educational guide, which doesn't really have like dopamine or whatever. You clearly have a good attention span, so I'm hoping that you'll watch all the way to the end. Why should you listen to me on the topic of becoming happier? Well, because I was a depressed motherfucker. I was crying almost every single day. This picture speaks 1,000 words. Look at it. Just look at this. Like, look at my face there for a second. That was the worst period of my life, where I was so depressed and anxious. I had so many bad habits. I really, really hated my life. And I couldn't have imagined anything differently. And I remember going onto the call with my mum, actually. I had poor relationships as well, and I hadn't spoken to my family for ages. But I called my mum for the first time in like a year. And the moment she picks up and we see our face, because it's a video call, both of us just started to cry. And, we like compose ourselves after a few minutes, and I tell her, like, I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I finished university and I had no idea what I wanted to do. And she kept on like smiling and saying, like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. At the time, I thought that was like a shit response from her, because I really wanted someone to just tell me like what to do, how to be happier, how to live a more fulfilling life. But I did end up figuring it out. And I'm truly, truly like very, very happy and fulfilled in life now. So my promise is that I'll teach you the really fast ways to boost your happiness literally today. And I just hope that you can make good progress as I have done, because it genuinely changed my life forever. My introduction is that my name is Hamza and I make videos that save lives. So you can subscribe right now and you'll see videos like this on your homepage, because if you don't subscribe often, they won't be shown to you, and then you'll miss out on this kind of education, and you'll just be shown more of the clickbaity, Mr. Beast self-improvement style videos, which aren't actually educational. And also, if you've watched me for a while and I've changed your life, go leave a nice comment below, because you might end up like inspiring other guys if they read it and they hear your story of the time you got onto self-improvement. The top link in the description is my email list, by the way, where I send out really, really detailed emails like this. So if you're the kind of intellectual guy who watches these full-length educational guides, then you probably enjoy reading, and you'll probably enjoy reading my emails, because reading books is awesome. But when you read like emails, basically like a really long text message from me, I think you'll learn some things that aren't really specifically in books, like how to talk to everyone you see. And I'm breaking it down in like weird autistic steps and everything. And this is just one email that I personally write myself, by the way. That's the top link in the description. Just go click that right now, go sign up, and then come back here. Let's begin. But first, I just want to explain why we should boost happiness, because there's loads of masculine guys, including I had made a video about this, saying that they don't really care about happiness, and it sounds really cool. Like, I know Andrew Tate has said this, E-Man has said this. I've made videos previously where I've like shit on the idea of happiness, and I've had to think about it, and I kind of disagree with that now, because my new updated opinion is that if you're a high performer and you're ambitious, then you should include happiness in your dream life. It's literally just a higher ambition to not want to just be successful, but to want to be successful and happy. Does that make sense? Like the traditional masculinity, like these old, like, these masculine guys all on the internet, they like to act like, oh yeah, happiness is kind of gay. It's like, it's kind of weak. But if you're a high performer and you want like the fucking world and you want to achieve amazing things, then this is like achievement. This is success. Traditional masculinity, providing for your family. Okay, nice. This is here. How about providing for your family whilst you're also happy? Now we've went up there. So this is the next level of ambition. So this is the higher, harder thing to have. Because just making money is like, okay, fine, it's kind of difficult, whatever. Making money whilst being happy is even harder, right? So this is me striving for a higher level of ambition, which I would recommend for you as well. Also, being happy has been proven to help you make more money, make better decisions, have higher testosterone because of lower cortisol, the stress hormone. Happier people are more attractive and have better sex lives as well. So if you want to basically get more blowjobs, like increase your happiness, because as we'll go into one of the tips that I'm about to give you, I've literally gotten like fair amounts of girls who have been into me literally because I was happy and smiling, and I walked past them and they saw me in that kind of intoxicating mood where they wanted to join in. So 9 fast ways you can boost happiness: act of kindness, Fake a smile, cold approach, ask your mum to tell you a story, climb a tree, hit a PR with a friend, daily phone call walk, stack up fulfilling achievements, and number 9, defy your parents and live your own life instead of the life they expect for you. We'll go through each one together. So number 1, act of kindness. I remember a study that I saw a few years ago that showed that if you spent $10 on others, it would boost your happiness way more than if you spent $10 on yourself. And this study controlled for people's incomes, and they basically did like a relative study in a poorer country as well. So the conclusion was, if you spend money on other people, you'll get a happiness boost even if you're broke. Which is awesome, because there's a weird, really high return on investment when you spend money on others, because you get the happiness boost, which we then know leads you into making better decisions and then therefore making better money in the future as well. So you know how a lot of us young people were looking for like investments and things that we can, invest in to get to the next level. This I have personally found is the highest ROI, because if you're trying to invest $10 into the stocks and exchange, I think you'll get about 1 penny a year, or about 10 cents a year. Basically nothing. You get nothing back. But if you spend $10 on a friend, like a book for a friend, and it changes your friend's life, you will feel amazing. If you spend like $2 on like a bottle of water for your friend in the middle of a workout and he thanks you for it, you'll feel way better. You'll get a way bigger emotional, psychological impact to your happiness, which therefore we know increased happiness increases the money as well. So here's an action tip. Just that this is more of a reminder, because you don't need much of an explanation for this. But the action tip is, see if you can order something for someone right now. Right here, right now. If you've got the money and you're in a country that has Amazon delivery and you're not like completely broke, what if you just went onto Amazon quick and ordered a book for a friend if you know their address as well? Don't even tell them. Literally just randomly order it there. Wait till it might arrive tomorrow. You could send them a text. I actually did this yesterday. I won't tell you the very specifics, but basically I saw something that had just has just been released, and I bought it for the address of this person and didn't even tell them. And they'll probably see it, and most likely they'll know it was me. But it was just like, straight afterwards, I like stood up with a smile, and I was in such a happy mood, because I was like, oh, like that person, they're going to love this. They're going to love it. I won't tell you what it is, because it's kind of like a private thing. But like, I did this literally myself. The thing I bought was about £400. But of course, like that's, it should be relative to your income. You don't need to spend that much. If you spent like $5 on a book or something, or like a nice little journal or something for your friend who has recently started journaling, I think you might end up getting a nice little happiness boost for that. And what if you did this all the time? What if this wasn't a one-time thing? What if you were just the guy who was just always really nice, always thinking of stuff that you could do? And it doesn't need to be on spending money, by the way. The act of kindness could be you like writing a nice letter. It could be you doing something nice which doesn't cost you anything. The reason why I personally like acts of kindness which are money related is, quite frankly, because I'm a businessman. I make a fuck ton of money and I have limited time. I have lots of money but limited time. So if I can buy something, it doesn't usually take much time to buy something, but people still value that and it still feels nice. So for example, every single gym workout I do, whoever I train with, without usually even asking them, I'll go downstairs and get a protein shake for me, and I'll get one for them and just pass it over to them. And usually they're almost like taken aback, because people don't often do that. People like, are quite a little bit selfish with their money, because most people are kind of broke. So I have the privilege that I can spend money on this. If you don't have much money, then do an act of kindness instead and just be like, be nice. Like what if, for example, yours was, you really like your community where you live, where you've grown up. You go grab a bin bag from your family's like kitchen, like from the sink, and take a big bin bag outside. Go find some litter, put it in your bag, and put it in the big bin disposable thing. And imagine how good you're gonna feel, like walking past thinking like, shit, like I just cleaned my community. I just made it a little bit cleaner for the families here. I bet that same day you're going to be happier for the place you live. You're going to be more grateful. I bet that same day you're going to smile more at the people around you. And imagine not just did the act of kindness, but the positive feedback loop of everything else, where now you feel more integrated in your community, which we also know is a big cause of happiness as well. And, when I made money, one of the first things I did was start tipping waitresses. Like I go to a lot of restaurants, and the first thing I did was start tipping waitresses. And I still remember this. The first waitress I tipped when I started making money, I ended up dating her. And it was fucking awesome. I was basically like fucking the hottest girl in this restaurant, which, it's It's pretty nice one. So the next one is fake a smile. So this is my favorite tactic of becoming happier. Sometimes all you need to do is force a smile and you'll start smiling for real. Like, even though it sounds stupid as fuck, I promise you that, at least for me, this works. Sometimes I'm not in a happy mood. I'm just like, you almost forget about happiness for a while. And when I remember about happiness, what I do is I don't try to become happy. I force the action of a smile, even though I'm not really feeling like smiling. So I'll go, and I'll literally end up smiling for real because of how like retarded the thing I'm doing is. And I end up just smiling like genuinely. And when you smile, you're more likely to be happy. There's a quote from How to Win Friends and Influence People that stuck with me for literally 4 years, which is, if we find our cheerfulness to be lost, all we need to do is sit up and act like the cheerfulness is there. Basically, just pretend to be cheerful, act like you're cheerful, and you're more likely to feel cheerful. We think, this is very important to make sure you focus on me, not the words on the screen. Look, we think that we're supposed to get feelings and then act based on those feelings. But we know that that's fucking bullshit. We as like disciplined young men know that like acting on your feelings is a bad idea, usually, right? We should be looking to go the other way around, because it's not feelings that will dictate your actions. It's actions that often give you the feelings. So what I mean by this is, don't think, okay, I'll smile when I'm happy. No. Understand that if you smile, you'll be more likely to be happy. Does that make sense? Like, you don't need to wait for the feeling of happiness to smile. You can force a smile right now. Maybe you're doing it because you've actually got a good, mindset, and you're thinking, yeah, fuck it, let me try. And you're like, oh yeah, shit, I actually feel happier already. I know there's going to be some grumpy motherfuckers watching this thinking, oh no, this stuff doesn't work. But if you're anything like me, I think you can just, like, you've got this special power where you can just like decide to be happy, smile, and then you just feel happier. And so this fake a smile tactic works really well for me. And like I said before, you'd be surprised how many girls I've gotten just from being the happy, smiley guy. You'd be so surprised. I remember, I've told this story so many times because I fucking love this story, that me and my friends in university, we were all local, like to the university we went to. We all live in like within 20 miles. And we always used to notice that our university had a lot of international students who would come from China, but we would always see these students hang in groups of themselves. We never would see them like go, like, mix that well. And we'd never see their women with a guy who was local. Never. So we had this belief, me and my friends who were all like degenerates, we were just fucking through as many girls as possible. They're like, okay, you can't like get one of those international girls. One day in the gym, there's this cute, like small, like literally 5 foot, maybe 4'11" Chinese girl with like really like she was really skinny but with big tits, and I would see her in the gym all the time, but I always never thought to approach her because it was like the untouchable. You can't go ahead and do that. And I was like, fuck it, I was feeling confident. I walked up and with a big smile on my face, I just said to her like, oh, hi, do you know what time the gym closes? And she responded with oh, I think it's like 7 p.m. and whatever. And I spoke to her a little bit more, and I end up getting her number. I end up having fruit with her one day. Like, she invites me to have fruit or something. So she was keen, right? We have fruit, and she's like kind of resistant. She's high quality, so she's not like letting me fuck her the first time. But then the second time I see her, we end up fucking. She lives in my building, so literally she became like an awesome girl for me, that I would see her 2, 3, 4 times a week. She'd come up to my apartment, bring me like literal gifts, jewelry and stuff. And basically I'd just like fuck this shit out of her for like 6 months straight. It was fucking awesome, right? And one of the times, the first few times that we ever got together, she told me, that wasn't the first time that we spoke in the gym. And she must have known that I didn't remember, but I said, like, what? And she went, that wasn't the first time. Oh, sorry. Like, she said, like, we had seen each other before. And I said, when? She went, one time you walked past me and you had such a happy smiling face that's when I became attracted to you. And every time I saw you in the gym after that, I always wondered when you come and speak to me. So I attracted this girl without realizing it, without even trying, just because one day I came back into our building in like a happy mood, and I must have smiled at her. And I genuinely, like, I didn't even remember that. I still don't remember it, but I know she's telling the truth because I would often walk through like the corridors of my student accommodation with like a big smile on my face. I'm just like quite a happy guy. And I know for a fact she was attracted to me because of that. I've had girls in my current gym who I know for a fact are attracted to me because they'll see me in the gym in a happy, smiling mood, speaking to people, smiling, almost like, just being happy by myself, because it's so contagious. People want to be a part of that. I used to think that the cool, like, fuckboy look would be more attractive. So what I used to do when I thought this would work is I used to walk past girls doing like the sexy, serious face, like... You know, I'd walk past the girl, like, doing a whole pout, doing this shit, walking past her and stuff. And obviously, what do you think's gonna happen? It's like, girls might be attracted to you, but they're not gonna, like, go outwards and make it easy for you because you're not showing a lot of warmth. Whereas the times where I've been in a really happy mood and I'm not even been trying to look sexy, although I have, like, you know, some level of attractiveness naturally anyway, without needing to, you know, kind of think about it or force it. Those times when I've been in more of a friendly, happy mood, it's made it so much easier to be able to integrate with other people, particularly girls, because naturally when you're in a happy mood, you're looking at someone, you're already smiling and they smile. And when a girl smiled at you, that's like, it's so fucking easy to go say something to her. So easy. So not only has this made me happier just in general, it's also gotten me relationships. It's gotten me girls who have been into me and also good friends as well. So I really think you should go and do that. Now, along with that, cold approaching can make you happier as well. You could go for a cold approach right now, today, and end up feeling happier. But this will only work if you don't have a weak mindset making you prone to getting blackpilled. Like, if you are a weak-minded man, you'll be blackpilled and you'll think, oh, I can't cold approach because I'm too ugly or something. But basically, you can go cold approach a woman and it will be hype and enjoyable and make you happy, even if you get rejected, unless if you have a weak mindset. There's men I know who have weak mindsets. They get rejected and they get proper pissed off and stuff. But there's men I know who not naturally are, you know, high status, or they're not attractive, or, you know, they're at the starting levels of their journey. They get rejected, but they come back with a smile on their face, like a roller coaster, and they're like, oh man, yeah, she said she wasn't interested, but I'm so proud of myself for going up and speaking to her. Because you walk away with a sense of accomplishment thinking, oh, well, I'm so glad that I did that. So how do you cold approach? Well, just command your legs to walk towards her and literally just give her a compliment. You can overthink this and you can think of the perfect line or whatever, but like, if you just did this once or twice every single day, you would always have too many women. Think about that. If you just did this for 2 girls every single day, you would literally have too many women in your life within like a month from now. And everywhere you ever travel to, you'd always have like a 3, 4, 5 girls you're consistently dating, meeting, and considering like serious relationships with. If you just did that. And again, being in relationships will help with your happiness, but even just the act of cold approaching is enjoyable if you do have a good mindset. For anyone with a weaker mindset who spends too much time on the internet watching like a black pill kind of content, then maybe this one you can skip out. I know some guys who are really attractive, who are relatively high status, really attractive guys who have such a weak mindset that the few times they've cold approached, they've literally come out with it like, oh, I can't believe she rejected me and stuff. I didn't even spend more time with those kinds of guys. I just find that so repulsive. Guys who get like so pissed off about getting rejected by, it's just, so ugly mindset. You can be an attractive guy, you can be a cool guy, whatever. But I always see what kind of personality a guy has when he gets rejected by a woman, because if he smiles afterwards and he's like, oh, boys, like I spoke to her. Oh no, she wasn't interested, but I'm glad that I spoke to her. That's a fucking G. That's a guy who I know is going to rise and rise and rise. And I see guys who are like winners, who are attractive chads, and I see them going on the downfall when they cold approach, but they get blackpilled because they're like, oh man, she rejected me. Shut the fuck up, pussy. So ask your mum to tell you a story, which is so fucking wholesome. Go up to your mum and ask her to tell you a story about you as a child. And that's really specific there. Why? Because when it's about you, you automatically pay more attention, because we're all self-centered, right? If you ask her, like, tell me a story, she tells you about like your distant cousin that you don't even know, you know, your mind starts wandering. But you say, okay, tell me a story about me as a child, as a baby. Your mom's got loads of stories of some shit that's happened or whatever, and you automatically will pay more attention because it's about you. And your mom feels happy because you're spending time with her and you're her favorite person. So if you're an action taker and you actually do this, literally go pause this video, go run up to your mother right now and go fucking ask her, just for the sake of it, just to, like, you know, see if this shit works, and see how much of a smile you have on your face and how much of a smile she has once you sit down, and maybe you go make like a cup of tea or something together. And you just ask her. And if you do this, please come back to this video and just comment below how it went, what happened. You know, just tell the story of what happened, what story she told, how it felt for you, how it felt for her. Were you smiling? Were you happy? Because I'll be like a wholesome comment for everyone else to read. Another way to be happy is to climb a tree and other activities like that. When we were children, we used to explore and do fun shit like climbing trees, jumping over puddles, racing and wrestling our brothers and friends. And then we stopped that as adults. We stop it because it's kind of like a little bit abnormal. We're supposed to just sit at home and work all day and just like go on our phones and stuff. But why? Like, who gives a fuck if it's kind of weird? The truth is, look, this kind of stuff where you're out in a park and you're like wrestling with friends is weird. But it's weird based on the average normal person who's depressed and unhappy and has low testosterone. Like, who the fuck wants to be normal and like not weird by their standards? So this picture, these pictures are from London recently, where I got a bunch of my boys out, and we literally just wrestled in a fucking park. Like, we made two teams, and then just ran towards each other and just tried to like tackle each other. It was just fucking, it was fun. It was like stupid. It was like, you know, like people fall into the floor. I was like, okay, boys, shirts off. Everyone gets their shirt off. Look at my fucking physique as well. Look at that shit. And it was fun as fuck. Everyone's smiling. You know what? After this, I organized like this business event for all the guys who came up because they're students inside of my program, and I paid thousands of dollars for this like private seminar room, gave like a lecture on how to make money. We all dressed up and everything, and we took like nice fancy pictures. And guess what? I know for a fact that the boys actually enjoyed and had more of like a happy experience from this than like something I spent thousands of dollars on afterwards. So imagine that. I spent thousands of dollars on an event after this, and I know for a fact that this free thing that we did, the guys had more fun in and more happiness in. I know that this made more memories. So it's kind of cringe for you to message your friend, say like, oh, hey, want to wrestle in the park? But if your friend is, you know, like based like you and he watches videos like this, send him this video and literally tell him, like literally just fucking send him that text like, this lol, want to go wrestle in the park? And literally just go fucking wrestle in the park and have like a game of whoever can drop the other person onto their back 10 times first wins. Some shit like that. And like, I guarantee you'll literally smile and be in more of a flow state doing that than you've been in the last month straight. Along with that, you can do all the other like wholesome shit that we used to do when we were children. Like go climb a tree, see how high up you can get. Jump over some fucking puddles. Remember, like you used to go out on your bikes with your friends and you'd jump off the curb and you'd like try and do like fun stuff. Like, and we stopped doing that. We just become these like rigid adults. Like you don't have to act like how you think an adult's acts. People find this weird. Like, you should go see, this is on my Instagram, right? My Instagram's like cult leader Hamza. You could go have a look at the comments, see how many like grown fucking men are literally calling me like a weirdo, calling me gay, calling me like just weird for like doing this. But it's like, who gives a fuck what some flabby, low T, depressed motherfucker who's commenting on Instagram says about me when I had a sick time? And I also made thousands of dollars as because of this like whole event that I hosted, and I got good content of it and everything that we use in our videos. Who gives a fuck if some flabby motherfuckers who eat seed oils judge you for doing stuff like this? Like I see the way that most people live. I don't want to be anything like them. If they think I'm weird for fucking climbing a tree, get fucked. You eat fucking seed oils. They fucking sleep for 5 hours a night. Get fucked with your judgments. That's my mindset towards this, and I hope that you'll take that. I'm a little bit more aggressive, but I hope that you know feel the same way. Like, fuck, like if we know that this stuff is healthy for us, don't let the judgments of other people stop you, because those other people, they are basically poisoning themselves every day, so their judgment is not valuable, right? If there's someone who poisons themselves through lack of sleep, ADHD stimulating content, seed oils and alcohol, vapes, their judgment is clearly harming them, and so their judgment of you shouldn't fucking matter then either, right? Hitting a PR with a friend. It's always a hype moment when you hit a PR, like a little boost of happiness, but it's twice as hype if you have a friend who's hitting it with you. This picture's a little bit clickbait because I didn't actually hit this. I tried it. This was 3 plates. I can do 135. This is 140, and I've not hit this just yet, but I think I'll get there at some point. I have so much fun in my workouts when I'm training with another guy. It's like such a happiness boosting thing. Don't listen to the internet, like lonely motherfuckers propaganda that they'll say like, oh, I like training by myself. Training partners are a distraction. You know what I found? Most people, when we talk about training with a friend, they'll say, oh, but training partners are a distraction. I like training with myself. But they haven't even trained with a good training partner or with any training partner before. I've called people out on this. Like literally people will comment on some of my posts and stuff, and I'll say like, how many times have you trained with someone? And they'll say, oh, I actually haven't. It's a weird thing where like people on the internet, like they'll parrot and they'll say, no, I like training by myself. It's like, motherfucker, you've never even had a training partner before, so shut your fucking mouth. Like just parroting something that you don't even know about. Like when you go and actually start training with someone consistently, you have so much better workouts because you've got another guy who you're laughing with, who's shouting at you to hit this weight, and you're challenging each other and stuff. It's so much better. Such a happiness boosting thing. Like I train by myself sometimes, and I train with my friend Zach here. He's a PT in my gym. gym and we have a few more friends we train with. And it's always such a happier workout. And also you just make way more progress when you've got a guy, for example, spotting you and hyping you up, and he knows what weight you normally use. He knows how many reps you normally get. It's just so much better. It makes the workout a little bit more aggressive, where, you're hyping up and everything. So I much prefer that. Another happiness thing you can do is what I'm calling the daily phone call walk. Fuck Zoom. Basically, instead of using Zoom, or instead of just, being sat around in your room all day, have a daily phone call, like an actual phone call, not the video call, not FaceTime, but an actual genuine just audio call, and go on a long walk through nature at the same time. Because if it's a phone call and not a video call, you can really focus on your surroundings. You can smile at other people, so you have like an extra boost of, being aware of what's happening. You're not like just staring into the phone. But also you're having a fun conversation, and, you're having a deepening relationship with the person you're on a phone call with. And this gets you more connected to people. It gets your steps in. Walking is very, very healthy for humans. We're supposed to feel constant movement. Most people don't move much through the day. It's not just for the exercise. I really do think there's some weird psychological benefit of your brain and your body knowing that you've moved through space, because it just creates some kind of feeling of momentum that we were supposed to have as cavemen. It'll probably skyrocket your dopamine, your feeling of motivation. And when you don't have this, and when your brain and body feel like you've just kind of stayed stationary, you went to the gym, and you sat down on the bench and did some press or something. You drove to work. That can maybe help, because you've got the feeling, the visual perception of things going past you. But I think this is just nice and easy. Just schedule a phone call every single day. Go for a walk at the same time, and just put it on loudspeaker and just chat shit with your friend. Just talk about whatever the fuck, just laugh about shit. Call, imagine you don't even schedule something. Just get on the walk, go on your WhatsApp list or your phone list, and just call 5 people randomly, and I guarantee one will pick up. And when there's oh, what's up, bro? You don't usually call. Be like, oh, what's up? I'm just on a walk right now, and I was just calling people to see who wanted to chat shit for 10 minutes. And if someone says, oh, I'm really busy, yeah, okay, fair enough, no problem, get fucked. But if someone says, oh yeah, how you doing, bro? Yeah, then you've got a fun conversation you weren't gonna have beforehand, and so you've got a double benefit. You've got the deepening of a relationship, and you've also got the benefits of a walk. And also, if you do this in nature, then you've got the benefits of being in nature as well. And if you do this in a somewhat popular area, then you have the benefit of smiling at people as they walk past as well. So it's a 4-fold benefit right there. Stack up achievements. So when you've stacked up achievements that make you feel really proud, you literally just exist and feel happier. This is what my physique looks like right now. I'm 192, 193 pounds. This is my YouTube channel, 2.3 million subscribers. I've got 200 something thousand on Instagram. I've got this is what my business is. I'm number 1 on this entire website that I'm on, and I make close to about 200,000 a month. I make a bit more than this, actually. I've got private payments. I make about 200,000 a month. Now I just exist. I can just T-pose. I can just exist here, and I'm probably happier than you. Why? Because for the past 4 years, my younger self has put in so much work that I'm proud of that. I just exist now. So sometimes achievements doesn't increase happiness, but that's usually only if you haven't achieved fulfilling things, and basically if you've allowed the brainwashing and control of others to choose the thing to achieve in. Which brings us to the last point, which is to defy your parents and live your own life instead of the life they expect for you. This is the most important thing that we're going to cover today. The most common regret of old people who are dying is living a life through other people's expectations rather than their own, which is mostly from their parents. So think about that. There's been studies, there's been people who have done a bunch of questionnaires on the people who are dying, who are old and dying right now. The most common regret that dying people have is that they wasted their lives living the life of someone else rather than themselves, mostly because their parents told them to be a certain kind of way. And these old dying people, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but they were too much of a pussy to look at their parents and do what they actually wanted to do. So many young people today are being forced by their parents to go down a certain route that they don't want to, like university. You probably relate to this. Most young people are like this. I was like this. So let me ask you a question, since you're a pussy. I have to call you a pussy, right? Like, if you're not living life by your own means, you are a pussy, and you're following what your parents say. Let me just ask you a question and see if you've considered some logic in this situation. If this relates to you. You're doing what your parents say. The focus on me, don't read the text. You're doing what your parents say, right? Is your relationship with your parents perfect since you've been following their plan for you? Have you been having no arguments? Fuck no. Even whilst you live the life that your parents want you to, you still have arguments with them, because the kind of dickhead parents who will put that much control on their children will still have reasons to fucking argue with you and make your life hell, right? Basically, these are unintelligent, uneducated parents who probably aren't even that successful in themselves, haven't even read a single book on parenting, and here they are trying to guide your life when they eat fucking like I could disrespect your parents, and like, yeah, it's not kind of nice to do that, but it is fucking true, right? Like, most likely if your parents are like this, most likely they haven't read a single book in the last 5 fucking years. So why would you trust their judgment on anything? So here's the thing. The reason why you would allow your parents to dictate where your life would go, especially if you're not like fucking 14 years old, let's say if you're more like 18 and now you're thinking, should you go to university, and your parents are telling you that you have to. You'd listen to them because basically you're afraid. You're afraid of them and you don't want arguments. But if you listen to them and you go down the path that they say, which you didn't want to, let's say you wanted to be a businessman, but your parents say you've got to go to university because it's a really good, safe option. Basically, your parents are retarded. But let's just be honest. Your parents are so stupid and listening to like outdated knowledge about the world that university is a good, safe option. What fucking safe option should take 3 years to set up and tens of thousands of dollars in debt? That's basically what a retard would suggest, right? So let's say your parents do that and you go down this path because you're a pussy. Imagine that you're still going to have arguments anyway. You're still not going to have a perfect relationship anyway. So even if you live to their expectations, your relationship still isn't perfect. You still have arguments. But why not just have the fucking arguments by defying them and living the life that you want? Look, either way, you're going to have arguments, right? You either live like a bitch and do what they say, or you live your own life and get your own fulfillments. Both ways, you're going to have arguments. Both of them, you're still going to have fucking trauma and family problems and fights anyway. So why would you listen to them and just have a net loss of your dream life? Someone's dream needs to die. It is either yours or their dream of yours. If you achieve their dream of yours, you will be miserable, which means that they will still be miserable. So you have to understand right now that you are thinking in completely illogical ways. If you are still listening to their advice, there is no logical benefit to doing that. You can't keep wasting your life. Now, if you're 12 years old, by all means, listen to your parents. But the moment you turn like 18 and you've got a pair of fucking balls, use them. Do what you need to do. Live as if your father is dead. That is the only way to live. It is the only way to live, is basically do what you think is right. Take their guidance. If they're giving you advice and guidance and knowledge, amazing. Mentorship, perfect. But if they say, no, you have to go to university, and you know, for example, that university has nothing to do with the path that you want to go down, you look to them in the eyes and you tell them, yes, you're so right. Then you go and do whatever the fuck you thought was right. And your parents think you're going to university. You didn't even send the application. The day they found out that you lied to them, maybe they slap you. Oh, wow, you've got a little red mark on your face. Motherfucker, I had that for years. You probably already had it anyway. They'll find other reasons to beat your ass anyway. In front of them, in front of these types of parents, you can't like show your real self. They won't listen to you. You can't try and intellectually sit them down. They probably won't listen to you. These types of controlling parents. So this is what they've brought upon themselves. You look them in the eyes and you lie to them. I'm giving you my blessing to do this because there's no other option with people like this, with unintelligent, uneducated parents who don't even read books, who don't even have like who don't even have the intelligence to look at the world as it is right now rather than as it was 20 years ago. You can't take them seriously. And so you need to look them in the eyes and lie to them and say, yes, you're right. I'm going to do the thing that you said. They tell you get a shit full-time job. They tell you whatever it is. Maybe it's different. Maybe it's like, you want to be an artist, whatever it is. They want a life for you. You want a different life. You pretend you're going down the life that they said. You just keep doing the exact thing that aligns to your life. And then eventually they'll find out and they'll be like, wait, why haven't you done X that would align to my vision for your life? And you just kind of mess it. Oh, I forgot to submit the application to university. Okay, you get slapped. Okay, I'll go submit it right now. That's what you say to them. You keep going to do your thing. Keep going to do your thing. Eventually, they'll get so pissed off that they'll probably give you the ultimatum. You either do what I say or you leave my house. That's when you get a full-time job. Fucking leave if you need to. That's it. A life where you pursue your own purpose, your own mission. There's no alternative. There is no alternative. Any year, any month, any hour where you did not pursue what you needed to pursue for your values is just wasted dead time. You will never look back and be like, oh, I'm so glad I didn't live to my own values. Are you fucking stupid? Think about that. Would you disagree with that? Do you think you'd ever look back and think to yourself, I'm so glad for that 1 month, that year, that 3 fucking years of my life where I didn't live to my values. I'm so grateful that I defied my values. You'll never say that in your life. Never. You'll never even say, oh, well, to make my parents happy, because through that time that you did that, your parents still wouldn't be happy. These types of people, this control that your parents have on you, they're usually so miserable that even if you listen to what they say, they still wouldn't be happy people anyway. So listen, your parents are going to be miserable, controlling, and abusive and argumentative anyway. So the only thing is, do you want to have that whilst you pursue your real dream, or do you want to have it whilst you don't pursue your dream? I'd like to backhand, I'm sorry, but I'd like to fucking shake you by the shoulders, because there's only a net loss for listening to your parents if they're like this, right? If your parents are super intelligent, they're more educated than I am, by all means, you can take their guidance. But you as a man need to have your own North Star for the life that you want to have. And it's great to take advice and to listen to others. It's really, I'm not saying not to do that. But if you have the same kind of parents that I'm thinking about, which are like controlling and forcing you to go down a path, like, for example, going down university, even though you see how stupid and pointless and how much of a fucking scam it is, and you want to, for example, get into business because you don't want to be broke, then you can't listen to them as, oh, but as a plan B. Fuck university as a plan B. Are you dumb? Fucking 3-year plan B, tens of thousands of dollars in debt as a plan B. What fucking plan B is like? That plan B is just getting a fucking customer service job that you can get out of high school. That's a plan B. University is not a plan B. And if you don't want to go to university, this is like the most common thing that I hear of young people. If you don't want to go to university, fuck going, because you're not going to be a good student anyway. Why would you go just so your fucking disgusting parents can just have a checkbox in their mind saying, yep, my son went to university. I feel better about myself because I'm still using outdated assessments of people's status. That's why you're going to go suffer for 3 years. That's why you're going to go study some bullshit you don't care about. That's why you're going to go experience stress of exam season and dissertation. So your dickhead parent can just smile at their friends and say, yep, Hamza's studying. Fuck that. I gave that to my father, to my mother. It did fucking nothing. It did nothing. Because these same kinds of people, they're not very as caring as you think they are. For my dad, it was so important that I went to university. 1 year in, he didn't even know what subject I was studying. But for him, it was like he needed to be able to say, yep, all 3 children went to university. Don't trade years of your life to achieve the dream that someone else has of you, because that type of person is usually miserable and you'll be miserable. It's the number one biggest mistake, most common mistake that people make. Please use this as like a fucking big shock to your system right now. Please don't go and waste years or decades of your life living the life for someone else. And this isn't me saying, oh, don't go to university. Maybe your dream is to go to university. I'm just using that as an example from my own life. Please live your own life. You need a lot of courage for that. I'm not going to lie to you, it won't be easy. But the truth was, with these types of parents, your life wasn't going to be easy even if you followed their advice anyway. So just keep that in mind. Maybe write it down somewhere. If I follow their advice, like if I follow their control, my life is still not going to be easy. We're still going to have arguments. I may as well at least have those negative things by following my dream. If I follow their control, they're still going to end up slapping me every now and then. They're still going to end up shouting at me for whatever bullshit anyway. Some people are just like that. So why would I listen to them in any case? You could save years of your life by following this advice, so please just take it seriously. Maybe you need to go journal, and I know it'll be scary as fuck. I know there's a lot of fear involved in defying your parents. I know there's so much fear. This is where you need courage. Courage is the skill of feeling fear, but doing the right thing anyway. You can only be courageous when you feel fear. Just understand that when you feel fear, like when you're scared of something, you can go and do whatever you think is right anyway. And it's only courage if you're literally defying fear. Now is the time for you to start seeing yourself as a courageous young man. We covered all 9 ways, and I really hope these help you. Apologies for getting super deep and everything, but if I save a few guys from spending years or even decades of their life just wasted, you can see why I get so emotional. You can see why at the start of this, when I introduced myself, I told you that I make videos that save lives. I might have just saved maybe one guy, maybe tens of guys from years of waste, just from the last 5 minutes of this video. So my promise today was to teach, hang on, let me just make this full screen. My promise today was to teach you the really fast ways to boost your happiness, literally today. We did that. I also taught you some of the longer term ones, like achievement as well. But we've also covered some of the good, quick ones. One last time, the top link in the description is the email list. Go sign up to that right now. I think you'll really enjoy that if you are like this intellectual guy. Thank you for watching. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Mwah.